Welcome to the teaching learning session of sociology. In our last lecture, we discussed about family and marriage. In this lecture, we'll discuss about kinship and religion. The institution of kinship. Kinship is universal and represents one of the basic social institutions. Kinship is a method which provides the framework of social relationships. Kinship means relationship of the individual with the other members, based either on marriage or blood ties. Kinship bonds are very strong, and such ties are of fundamental importance in every society all over the world. Kinship is that part of culture through which relations are socially recognized through birth and through marriage or adoption. Murdoch says that it is a structured system of relationship in which individuals are bound to one another by complex interlocking and ramifying ties. According to Redcliffe Brown, kinship system is part of a social structure and insists upon the study of kinship as a field of rights and obligations. The kinship system refers to a set of persons recognized as relatives either by virtue of blood relationships, technically called consanguinity, or by virtue of marriage relationship, that is through what is called affinity. So kinship is either through blood relationship or through marriage relationships. There are certain principles of descent. The descent is the principle whereby child is socially affiliated with the group of his or her parents. In some societies, the child is regarded as descendant equal of both the father and mother, except that the titles and the surnames are usually passed down along the male line. Such system is termed as bilateral. There are some cognatic systems where the individual has the right by descent to membership of several cognitively recruited groups. But this right is actualized only if the person is able to reside on a particular group's territory. There are various types of descent. One of them is unilineal. The child is affiliated either with a group of a father, that is patrilineal descent, or with the group of a mother, that is matrilineal descent. Child is affiliated to the group of either parent, depending on choice, or to one parent for some purposes, like for the inheritance of the property, and to other parent for other purposes, say for the inheritance of rituals or ceremonial roles. This is called double unilineal descent. The principle of unilineal descent provides the individual an unambiguous identification with a bound social group that exists before he or she is born and that has continuity even after he or she dies. Members of a descent group have a sense of shared identity, often referring to each other as brothers and sisters. Even when no gynealogical relationship can be traced, there are certain functions of descent group. Their members may often come together for ritual and ceremonial functions. The descent group will have built in authority. The authority structure is built in, with power normally exercised by the senior males, and it may well own corporate property. The individual's economic rights and responsibilities will be defined by his or her position in the group. Rules of inheritance tends to coordinate with the estimate of descent in most societies. Rules of inheritance tend to coordinate with reckoning of descents in many societies. In most parts of India, in the past, immovable properties such as land, housing, was inherited only by sons. In the absence of sons, except under rare circumstances, by the nearest male relatives on the father's side inherits that property. On the other hand, movable property in form of cash and jewelry was given to the daughters at the time of her marriage, with a certain amount of jewelry also passing from mother-in-law to the daughter-in-law. In addition to property, various kinds, rights, obligations, crafts, and skills might be passed on in accordance with kinship roles and other social roles and status, and is also very often determined by kinship criteria. Rules of residence, there are certain rules of residence. The rules of residence, meaning residing after marriage, it is an important variable in kinship system. Rule of residence means where one will live after marriage is very important variable in kinship relationship in kinship institution, and substantially affect the quality of personal relations within the kin network. It has an impact on the personal relationship. So you understand how important this variable is. If a husband and wife set up their own independent home after marriage, as is usually in case of modern society, residence is said to be neo-local. So what is neo-local residence? If husband and wife set up their own independent home after marriage, it is known as neo-local. These terms are very important because residence plays an important role in kinship. Neo-local, I'm repeating again what is neo-local. If husband and wife set up their own independent home after marriage, it is neo-local. A society is said to have Patriarchal society when the number of factors coincides. That is when descent is figured patrilineally. When inheritance of major property is from father to son. Major property goes to son from father. When residence is patrilocal. When even after marriage, husband and wife is living at this husband's parents' place. It is known as patrilocal. When residence is patrilocal and when authority is concentrated in the hands of senior males. So there are certain facts about patriarchal society. First is the inheritance of major properties from father to son. Residence is patrilocal and when authority is concentrated in the hands of senior males. If wife goes to live with the husband in his parents' home, residence is described as patrilocal or virilocal or patri-virilocal. So there are three terms: patrilocal, virilocal, and patri-virilocal. What is this patri-virilocal, virilocal, or patrilocal? When the wife goes to live with the husband in his parents' home. That residence is described as virilocal or patrilocal or viri-patrilocal. Where the husband moves to live with the wife is termed as matrilocal. So remember the terms matrilocal. What is matrilocal? When the husband moves to live with the wife, it is termed as matrilocal. When the wife goes with the husband and his parents' home, that is virilocal or patrilocal. And when husband and wife set up a new residence after marriage, that is known as neolocal. So neolocal residence, virilocal or patrilocal residence, or matrilocal residence. Rules of residence may or may not harmonize with the rules of descent. Patrilineal descent system correlate with either neolocal or patri-virilocal residence pattern. Matrilineal descent system may be combined with all the three types of residence. So there are certain terms which is very important. Kinship. Kinship is an institution. Kinship is based either on blood relationships or a relationship because of marriage. Residence plays an important role in kinship. There are three types of residence: neolocal, matrilocal, or patrilocal. Religion. Pioneer sociologist Emile Durkheim described religion with exquisite statement that it consists of things that surpasses the limit of our knowledge. According to Durkheim, a religion is a thing that surpasses the limit of our knowledge. He elaborated religion an unified system of belief, practices relative to sacred things, that is to say, set apart and forbidden, beliefs and practices which unite into one single moral community called church, all those who adhere to them. Some people associate religion with places of worship, others with practice, and still others with the concept that guides their daily lives, like dharma or sin. All these people can agree that religion is a system of beliefs, values, and practices concerning what a person holds sacred or considered to be spiritually significant. What religion is a system of beliefs, values, and practices concerning what a person holds sacred or considered to be spiritually significant. Religion can also serve as a filter for examining other issues in the society and other components of the culture. Sociological tools and methods such as surveys, polls, interviews, and analysis of historical data can be applied to study of religion in a culture to help us better understand the role of religion plays in people's life and the way it influences society. The base of our society is religion. The base of each and every society is religion. Religion came from the Latin word religio, means respect for what is sacred, and religare means to bind in the sense of obligation. The term religion describes various systems of beliefs and practice concerning what people determined to be sacred or spiritual. Throughout the history and in societies across the world, leaders have used religious narratives, symbols, and traditions in an attempt to give a more meaning to life and understand the universe. Some form of religion is found in every known culture, and it is usually practiced in a public way by a group. The practice of religion can include feasts and festivals, God or gods, marriage and funeral, music and art, meditation and initiations, sacrifice or services, and other aspects of culture. So, religion is found in every culture and practiced in a public way. While some people think of religion as something individual, because religious beliefs can be highly personal, religion is also a social institution. So, family, marriage, kinship, and religion, these are the social institutions. Social scientists recognize that religion exists as an organized and integrated set of beliefs, behaviors, and norms centered on the basic social needs and values. It is very important. I told you earlier that the base of our society is religion. So, religion exists as an organized and integrated set of beliefs, behavior, values, norms centered on the basic social needs and values. Religion is a cultural universe. It is a cultural universal found in all social groups. In every culture, funeral rites are practiced in some way, although these customs vary between culture and within the religious affiliation. Despite of the differences, there are common elements in a ceremony marking a person's death, such as announcements of death, care of deceased, and disposition and ceremony or rituals. These universals and the differences in how societies and individuals experience religion provides a rich material for sociological study. In studying religion, sociologists distinguished between what they term experience, belief, and ritual of religion. Religious experiences refers to the convictions or sensation that one is connected to the divine. This type of communion might be experienced when people are praying or meditating. Religious beliefs are specific ideas that the member of a particular faith holds to be true, such as Jesus Christ was the Son of God, or believing in reincarnation. Religion belief is that different religions adheres to these certain stories of the world creations. Religious rituals are the behaviors or practices that are either required or expected of the members of a particular group. French sociologist Émile Durkheim defined religion as a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things. According to Durkheim, religion is unified system of beliefs and practices. It is very important. According to Durkheim, religion is unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things. To him, sacred meant extraordinary, something that inspired wonder and which seemed connected to the concept of the divine. Durkheim said that religion happens in the society when there is a separation between the profane according to Durkheim. What is profane? It is an ordinary life, and the sacred. A religion happens in the society when there is a separation between the profane and the sacred. Say, for example, a rock isn't sacred or profane as it exists, but if someone makes it into a headstone or another person uses it for landscaping, it takes on a different meaning, one sacred and one profane. Right? Durkheim is generally considered to be the first sociologist who analyzed religion in terms of societal impact. According to Durkheim, religion has social impact. Durkheim believed that religion is about community. It binds people together, that is social cohesion. Religion is responsible for social cohesion. Religion promotes behavior consistency, means social control, and offers strength for people during life's transitions and tragedies. So Durkheim believed religion is about community. Religious is responsible for social cohesion, that is, it binds people together. Religion is responsible for social control, that is, it promotes behavior consistency, and it has a meaning. Religion has a meaning and purpose as it offers strength for people during life's transitions and tragedies. By applying the methods of natural sciences to the study of society, Durkheim held that the source of religion and morality is a collective mindset of society, and that the cohesive bond of social order result from common values in a society. Durkheim applied rules of natural sciences. By applying these rules, he concluded that religion and morality is a collective mindset of a society. What is morality? It is a collective mindset. Religion is a collective mindset of society. And cohesive bond of social order. Collective mindset and cohesive bond. And this collective mindset and cohesive social order or cohesive bond is a result of a common values, common social values. According to him, these values need to be maintained to maintain the social stability. These values are responsible for social stability, so it is very important to maintain these social values. These social values are responsible for a collective mindset, that is, collective consciousness. Durkheim saw religion as a source of social stability, whereas a German sociologist and political economist Max Weber, born in 1864, believed it was a precipitator of social change. According to Weber, religion was a precipitator of social change. He examined the effect of religion on economic activities and noticed that heavily Protestant societies, such as those in the Netherlands, England, Scotland, and Germany, were the most highly developed capitalist societies, and that their most successful business leaders were Protestants. In his writing, The Protestant Work Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism, he wrote this book in 1905. He contends that the Protestant work ethic influenced the development of capitalism. Weber noted that certain kind of Protestants supported the pursuit of material gain by motivating believers to work hard, be successful, and not spend their profits on frivolous things. It is the work ethic. The modern term work ethics comes directly from the Weber's Protestant ethic. German philosopher, journalist, and a revolutionary socialist Karl Marx also studied the social impact of religion. He believed religion reflects the social stratification of society and it maintains inequality and perpetuates the status quo. For him, a religion was just an extension of working class economic suffering. He argued that religion is the opium of people. So, according to Emile Durkheim, religion is responsible for social order. Marx it is religion is responsible for social change and I'm sorry was according to Weber, religion was responsible for social change, and according to Marx, it was an extension of working class economic suffering. For Durkheim, Weber, and Marx, who were reacting to the great social and economic upheaval in the late 19th century and early 20th century in Europe, religion was the integral part of society. For Durkheim, religion was force for cohesion that helped bind the members of the society to a group, while Weber believed religion could be understood as something separate from society, and Marx considered religion inseparable from the economy and the worker. A religion could not be understood apart from the capitalist safety that perpetuated inequality. Despite of their different views, these social theorists all believed the centrality of a religion to the society. There are certain theoretical perspectives of the religion. The first is functionalism. Functionalists contended that a religion serves several functions in society. A religion, in fact, depends on society for its existence, values, and significance, and vice versa. From this perspective, a religion serves several purposes like providing answers to spiritual mysteries, offering emotional comfort, and creating place for social interaction and social control. In providing answers, a religion defines that spiritual world and spiritual forces, including divine beings. It helps to answer the questions like how was the world created? Why do we suffer? Is there any plan for our lives? Or is there any afterlife? And another function of religion is that it provides emotional comfort in times of crisis. Religious rituals bring order, comfort, and organization through shared familiar symbols and pattern of behavior. Functionalism is one of the most important function of religion. From the functionalist perspective, it is an opportunity it creates for social interaction and the formation of group. So, according to functionalist, a religion gives an opportunities for social interaction and formation of group. It provides social support and social networking, offering a place to meet others who hold similar views and place to seek help in times of need. It can foster group cohesion and integration because religion can be central to many people's concept of themselves. Sometimes there is in group versus out group feeling towards other religion in our society or within a particular practice. Religion promotes social control. It reinforces social norms such as appropriate styles of dress, following the law, and regulating sexual behavior. Another perspective is conflict. Conflict theorists view religion as an institution that helps to maintain pattern of social inequality. Say for instance, the Vatican has a tremendous amount of wealth while the average income of Catholic is small. According to conflict perspective, a religion has been used to support the divine right of oppressive monarchs and to justify the unequal social structure like India's caste system. Conflict theorists are critical of the way many religions promote the idea that one should be satisfied with the existing circumstances because they are divinely ordained. This power dynamic has been used by Christian institutions for centuries to keep poor people poor, teaching them that they should not be concerned with what they lack because their true reward will come after death. According to conflict perspective, that those in power and religion are often able to dictate practices, rituals, and beliefs through their interpretations of religious text or via proclaimed direct communication from the divine. The feminist perspective is a conflict theory view that focuses specifically on gender inequality. In terms of religion, feminist theorist asserts that although women are typically the ones to socialize children into religion, they have traditionally held very few positions of power within the religion. A few religion and religious denominations are more gender equal, but male dominance remains the norms of most. Another perspective is symbolic interactionism, arising from the concept that the world is socially constructed. Symbolic interactionism studies the symbol and interactions of everyday life. To interactionists, beliefs and experiences are not sacred unless individuals in society regard them as sacred. The Star of David in Judaism and cross in Christianity are example of sacred symbols and obviously Om in Hindus. Interactionalists are interested in what these symbols communicate. Because interactionists study one-on-one everyday interactionist between the individual, a scholar using this approach might ask questions focused on this dynamic. The interaction between the religious leaders and practitioners, the role of religion and banal components of everyday life, and the ways people express religious values in social interactions all might be topic of study to an interactionist. There are various religions in the world. The major religion of the world are Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Confucianism, and Taoism. These may differ in many respects, including how each religion is organized and the belief system each uphold. Other differences include nature of belief in a higher power of history and how the world and religion began, the use of sacred text and object. A religion organize themselves, their institutions, practitioners, and structures in variety of fashions. When the Roman Catholic Church emerged, it borrowed many of its organizational principles from the ancient Roman military, turning senator into cardinals. Sociologists use different terms like sect, ecclesia, denomination to define these types of organizations. Although these definitions are not static, most religion transit through different organizational phases. Christianity began as cult, transformed into sect, and today exists as ecclesia. Cults. Cults are the new religious group. Almost all religion began as cults and gradually progressed to the level of a greater size and organization. The term cult is sometimes used interchangeably with the term new religious movement. Sect is a small and relatively new group. Occasionally, the sect is a breakaway group that may be in tension with larger society. They sometimes claim to be returning to the fundamentals or to the content, the veracity of particular doctrine. When the membership in a sect increases over time, it may grow into denomination. Often, this sect begins as an offshoot of a denomination when a group of members believe they should separate from the larger group. Some sects dissolve without growing into denomination. Sociologists call these established sects. Denomination is a large mainstream religious organization, but it doesn't claim to be official or state sponsored. It is one religion among many. Example Baptist, Catholic, Seventh day Advent, Ecclesia, the term ecclesia, originally referring to a political assembly of citizens in ancient Athens or Greece, and now refers to an congregation. In sociological terms, it refers to a religious group that's most all members of a society belongs to. It is considered a nationally recognized or official religion that holds religious monopoly and is closely allied with state and secular power. Some religion may be practiced or understood in various categories. The Christian notion of Holy Trinity, God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, defines the definition of monotheism. Similarly, many Western views that the multiple manifestation of Hinduism Godhead as polytheistic, while Hindus might describe those manifestations as monotheistic, parallel to Christian Trinity. Every society has a non-believers, such as atheists, who do not believe in a divine or any entity, who hold that the reality, that is God, is unknowable. While typically not an organized group, atheists and agnostics represents a significant portion of the population. Being a non-believer in divine entity doesn't mean that the individual subscribes to no morality. In fact, many Nobel Peace Prize winner and other great person over the centuries would have classified themselves as atheists. The word religion, Hinduism. Now we'll discuss about the world's religion, and first we will discuss about Hinduism. Hinduism is the oldest religion in the world. Hinduism originated in the Indus River Valley about 4500 years ago in what is known in modern day of northwest India and Pakistan. It arouses with ancient Egyptian and Mesopotamian culture. With roughly 1 billion followers, Hinduism is the third largest of the world's religion. Hindus believe in a divine power that can manifest as a different entities. According to Hindus, there are three main incarnations, that is Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, and they are sometimes compared to the manifestations of divine in Christians. Multiple sacred texts, collectively called as Vedas, contain hymns and rituals from the ancient India and are mostly written in Sanskrit. Hindus generally believe in a set of principles called dharma, which refers to the one's duty in the world and corresponds with the right actions. Hindus also believe in karma, or the notion that spiritual ramification of one's actions are balanced cyclically and in this life or in further life. Next is Buddhism. Buddhism was founded by Siddhartha Gautam around 500 BC. Siddhartha was said to have given up a comfortable upper class life to follow one of the poverty and spiritual devotion. At the age of 35, he famously meditated under a sacred fig tree and vowed not to rise before he achieved enlightenment or buddhi. After this, he became to known as Buddha or enlightened one. Followers were drawn to Buddha's teachings and practices of meditation. He later established a monastic order. Buddha's teaching encourages Buddhists to lead a moral life by accepting the four noble truths. First is life is suffering. Second truth is suffering arises from the attachment of desires. Third is suffering ceases with attachment to desire ceases. And fourth is freedom from suffering is possible by following the middle way. The concept of middle way is central to Buddhist thinking, which encourages people to live in the present and to practice acceptance of others. Buddhism also tends to de emphasize the role of Godhead, instead, stressing the importance of personal responsibilities. Next is Confucianism. It was official religion of China from 200 BC until it was officially abolished when the communist leadership discouraged religious practices in 1949. The religion was developed by Kung Fu Zu Confucius, who lived in the 6th and the 5th century BC. An extraordinary teacher, his lessons, which were about self discipline, respect for authority and tradition, and Zen, were collected in a book called Analects. Some religious scholars considered Confucianism more of social system than the religion because it focuses on sharing wisdom about moral practice but doesn't involve any type of specific worship, nor does it have a formal object. In fact, its teachings were developed in the context of problems of the social anarchy and near complete deterioration of a social cohesion. Dissatisfied with the social solutions put forth, the Kung Fu Zu developed his own model of religious morality to help to guide the society. Another is Taoism. According to this, the purpose of life is inner peace and harmony. Tao is usually translated as a way or path. The founder of the religion is generally recognized to be a man named Lao Tzu, who lived sometime in the 6th century BC in China. Taoist beliefs emphasize that virtue of compassion and moderation. The central concept of Tao can be understood to describe a spiritual reality, the order of universe, or the way of modern life in harmony with the former two. The yin yang symbol and the concept of polar forces are central to Tao's idea. Some scholars have compared these Chinese tradition to its Confucian counterpart by saying that whereas Confucianism is concerned with day to day rule of conduct, Taoism is concerned with more spiritual level of being. Next is Judaism. After their exodus from Egypt in the 13th century BC, Jews, a nomadic society, become monotheistic, worshipping only one God. The Jews' convent or promises of a special relationship with God. It is an important element of Judaism, and their sacred text is Torah, which Christians also follow as the first five books of the Bible. Talmud refers to a collection of sacred Jewish oral interpretation of the Torah. Jewish emphasizes moral behavior and action in this world as opposed to the belief of a personal salvation in the next world. Islam. Islam is monotheistic religion and it follows the teaching of Prophet Muhammad, born in Mecca, Saudi Arabia in 570 BC. Muhammad is seen as a prophet, not as a divine being, and he is believed to be the messenger of Allah, means God, who is divine. The followers of Islam are called Muslims. Islam means peace and submission. The sacred text for Muslim is Quran. As with Christianity's Old Testament, many of the Quran stories are shared with Jewish faith. Division exists within the Islam, but all Muslims are guided by the five beliefs or practices, often called the pillars. First is Allah is the only God and Muhammad is his prophet. Daily prayers. Third is helping those in poverty. Fourth, fasting as a spiritual practice. Fifth, pilgrimage to the holy center, Makkah. Next is Christianity. The sacred text for Christianity is Bible, while Jews, Christians and Muslims share many same historical religious stories. Their beliefs what? In their shared sacred stories, it is suggested that the Son of God, a Messiah, will return to save God's followers. While Christians believe that he already appeared in the person of Jesus Christ, Jews and Muslims disagree. While they recognize Christ as an important historical figure, their traditions do not believe he is Son of God, and their faith see the prophecy of Messiah's arrival and not yet fulfilled. Different Christian groups have variation among their texts. The Holy Spirit is a term Christians often use to describe religious experiences and how they feel the presence of their sacred in their lives. In today's lecture, we discussed about the kinship and the religion. We discussed the various theoretical perspectives of the religion, that is conflict perspective, symbolic perspective and functionalist perspective. We discussed about the various religions. We discussed about Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Christianity. In our next lecture,